morning. I hope everyone is caffeinated this morning. So today, my name is Lynn Overall. I'm the field CTO of the Solutions Consulting Group at Dun & Bradstreet, and I have the pleasure of being on stage with my good friend, Gurpinder Dhillon, who is our VP of Data Management at our Data Management Solution Services. And we're going to talk about driving better decisions using, with the business case for precision data in AI. Sorry, I have my tether here. Everyone is tethered to their phone lately. In an overview, we want to talk about the importance of data and AI. We want to talk about some of the challenges of sourcing quality data, and want to talk about D&B as a solution to that, and then we're going to field some Q&A from you guys. So,
do you want the clicker?
What is AI and why is it critical? I'm sure you all have seen AI over the past 18 months expanding, and it's in everyday news. And if you've been walking around San Francisco, you've seen the Waymo cars. That data is critical in every piece of that. And so we're going to talk about why that's critical, how you can improve that data, and understand how to get better data in your life cycles. Some of the components of AI, like machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, those are all things that are critical, that have critical uses of data. And we can show you how some of our data can help you with that. Also, the role of data in training AI models. Can you bring it down a little bit? Echoing. The role of data in training your AI models and how that data can be used, as well as how we can use AI to improve driving data quality and adding that data into things like your Databricks analysis. Next slide. So some of the challenges in AI data management. With all the new technology, there are always challenges in practical application. So I'm going to let Gurpinder talk to some of those challenges. And go ahead.
Thank you, Lynn. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well and off to a good start for the event. Thank you for joining us this morning, as Lynn mentioned. As Lynn mentioned, AI is on everyone's mind these days. So why is it still not being adopted widely in the industry? So as a VP of data management, I talk to a lot of customers on a daily basis. And one of the key questions they ask is, how do we get started on AI? And how can you guys help us with launching our AI initiative? And the first thing that I always talk about is getting the data in order for them to really leverage and start using AI. Even if it's a small machine learning model that Lynn pointed to as a component of AI, if they're trying to undertake, or whether it's a Gen AI initiative using a large language model, it requires data. And it requires the right set of data and attributes and foundational stuff, which is going to make those models work. So one of the key things we see businesses struggle with when it comes to AI, or even in data management in general, is that bad data leads to bad decisions. And it's happening much, much faster with Gen AI now. And the reason for that is previously, if you had something wrong, it would have an impact on one of your applications. Let's use CRM as an example, right? So you have an incorrect customer information in your CRM that is being used by your sales and marketing. That is the impact of that. And to some degree, you can correct that easily. But with AI now and large language models, that is getting amplified significantly, right? So when you have that record incorrect in your Gen AI, or you have wrong context in your Gen AI or large language model, it's going to have a huge downstream impact. It's going to have an impact internally within your organization, but also externally if anyone is using that information externally to make decisions for any products that you might be producing using the large language models or Gen AI. So some of the stats that we wanted to share with you today is one is that annually $15 million is what the impact of poor data quality is. I would say that is on a very, very conservative level. I did my research, so I just finished my doctorate in data management. And a part of my thesis was the impact of poor customer quality of data on business performance. This $15 million number got actually amplified to, I would say, maybe $150 million when I spoke to a lot of companies in my research. They said that in one example, one company alone faced $10 million, they quantified it, $10 million in a year as an impact of poor quality of data. And that obviously spanned a lot of things such as marketing to the wrong person, shipping information to the wrong person because the data was incorrect in their shipment application, and also the customer experience that degraded as a result of it. I think all of you will agree, because you deal with the data, that it is much harder to fix something after the fact when it's already in the systems versus when you're entering into the system. So that is another area to consider when it comes to data quality and high quality data. And then the 50% of knowledge workers are spending a lot of their time correcting, completing data sets that they need for different types of machine learning or AI models versus actually doing their job. This is a huge problem in data science and AI teams right now. Because the quality of data is not readily available to them to execute on their vision and strategy, they end up correcting a lot of that information so they can build their machine learning algorithms and models for Gen AI to work. As you can imagine from all that, the downstream impact we already alluded to a little bit. It's going to be inaccurate predictions. If someone's using this data or model to create marketing predictions for the upsell model or cross-sell model or targeting the right people, it's not going to be able to accurately predict that and help the business with whatever their objective is. Bias and discrimination is a huge problem in the news these days, where AI is not very transparent and people can't really understand whether it's being biased or whether it's predicting or doing what it's supposed to do, because it's missing the right context. Wasted resources, we already talked about, the 50% of time spent of resources trying to do this. Loss of trust, and then finally compliance and legal issues is a huge, huge problem that everyone is being really, really weary right now of, right? You need to make sure that your data is compliant with different regulations and different types of compliance needs in the marketplace globally. So I would say a lot of people are realizing this, that AI to work, they need good and quality data. But the problem still exists where they don't clearly understand how to get to that data. So what typically ends up happening, depending on the maturity and the size of the organization that you're talking to, they may be sourcing data from Wikipedia. The problem with Wikipedia, as you have all probably seen at some time in your lives, is that it's not regularly updated. And it can be updated by anyone, right? So a 10-year-old could go into Wikipedia. My son is 13, and as a part of his project last year, he actually went in and he updated something in Wikipedia, right? So as a part of their school. Now, everyone has the flexibility now from technology perspective, so you have to be careful with where the data is coming from. Second is the web page. So a lot of people go to web pages, there's scraping technology and all that stuff that's available, and you might be able to scrape some data and get information. But the problem is still that if you're using a technology piece that you may have developed, is it accurately getting the right information from the right websites that you need for your model? And then there could be intentional poisoning that is being introduced by bad guys into the system as well. So ultimately what ends up happening is that you create this Frankenstein's monster, right, from data perspective that makes it very, very difficult for your system and your AI to work. Now, if I were to summarize all of this, right, what is the summary and what is the bottom line? It really is that acting on incomplete or poor quality data creates gaps in your decision-making process, which is going to lead to incorrect recommendations, incorrect performance, loss of trust by the users that might be relying on the system, the product, or the AI that you're creating, utilizing that data asset.
So Agripinder, the concept of a data Frankenstein, that is unique. Let's hope we're not creating monsters. We've all seen where the open source models can hallucinate or can historically misrepresent information. With inaccuracies. When it comes to the appropriate data for corporate information, for third-party risk, for authoritative sources for data, it's a big concern. We never want to create that data Frankenstein. We never want to compile together open source data to put into our AI models because we don't fully understand the impact of that. Next slide. So with Dun& Bradstreet, we can help you fix the messy data. We can help you fill in reporting gaps. We can help eliminate siloed applications by helping you integrate that data across different systems. And we can help you build some enterprise visibility into those systems. Next slide. So part of our solution, we help you visually assess. We help you clean and consolidate. We help you with additional insights such as third-party risk or shipping insights, or even ESG. And then we help you seamlessly integrate those pieces of information into your systems. So enhancing or enriching AI with D&B data. Let's go back to Rupinder.
Sorry, before I do that, the timer is not on. Sorry about that. So D&B, so you all know this is a D&B session, right? So we wanted to, as Lynn pointed out, we are the data company, global data company, and we have the largest data assets from B2B perspective that we can provide organizations from master data management, from foundational data that can be leveraged in fueling your AI and applications. So that's what Lynn was just talking about. And it becomes really, really important when you are thinking about undertaking, as I mentioned earlier, any Gen AI or AI-related activity that you have the right data assets. So what we have done is, over the time, we have curated and perfected our capabilities to get to a data set which can be trusted and is of high quality. So that when you are building, let's say, a B2B related model on top of whatever activities your business is trying to do, you can trust the data and foundation that we will be able to help provide you. And I'm going to share some of the examples where we have really helped organizations in different industries. So starting with financial services. So financial services, as you can imagine, there's a lot of data that they generate and they deal with. And in order to make sense of that data, there's machine learning activities and algorithms that get put on top of that. So one example of that is credit scoring models, right? They require a lot of different data touch points and patterns in order to identify, should I be extending credit to this person that's coming to me? As a bank, as an example, we'll take bank as an example. We work with banks often. So if someone is doing a loan application, should I be approving this loan? And if so, what should be the amount that should be approved, right? So D&B has been in this business for a long time, and we have created a lot of data assets that can help feed into that model to make it very seamless and dynamic for a financial sector or an organization in a financial sector to make effective decisions on this data. As an example, I'll share a survey that we conduct on an annual basis. So in this survey, 29% of the respondents noted that they would be leveraging AI in their financial planning and analysis to improve efficiency and decision making. Again, it all comes down to the resources and how wisely can we utilize the resources that we have. So people and organizations are turning to automated processes, AI, machine learning to help with that, and that's an example of that. Similarly, if we now shift focus to sales and marketing side, on the sales and marketing side, AI is not a new concept, as some of you can attest to this. This has been in the works for many, many years, going back to when we did regression models, right? So I used to run a team where I had a team of data scientists. Back then, they weren't called data scientists. We just called them PhDs in data. So we had a team of those, and what they did was, on a daily basis, they took customer data, they took D&B data, and they created regression and propensity models that helped predict which customers are likely to churn, which customers should be upsold to, which customers have the propensity to become a customer for another application or product that an organization sold. So that has been in the works for many, many years now. Now, with the advent of large language models, it's becoming a lot more personalized and easily accessible to the end user. And that's where data now gets even further amplified. And with our customers, what we do is we help them augment their first-party data with insights like, intent of different organizations. Are they in the business? Are they in the market to buy stuff? We also augment that with additional data insights like industries to help with segmentation, which market to go after, which is in their target audience, right? What is the TAM? And all that stuff we are able to augment and provide to them so that they can create models which can be used across the organization. So when a marketing manager is looking to strategize and execute on their growth strategy, they can use these models and help with that. And some of the stats on this that I wanted to highlight for you is that, again, according to a survey that we had conducted, 7 in 10 marketers expect Gen AI will help eliminate busy work and allow them to focus more on strategic type of work. This amounts to about, saving over a month per year of marketing resources. So now if you can imagine, everyone, again, is tight on resources, utilizing the right capabilities from Gen AI perspective, it can be a huge difference for the marketing organization, which is lean to begin with. It was also indicated that, the growth that we're seeing in this area is an uplift of 3 to 15% from a revenue perspective, and ROI is about 10 to 20% for using Gen AI versus not using Gen AI. Those are some of the things we are picking up from our customers and surveys that we conduct within the market. Now, if you are in supply chain or anyone in supply chain, you can go back a couple of years, right? When we had this whole COVID issue where supply chain became a huge problem. People were not getting the right parts and the suppliers were not available, so they didn't know where to go. So with supply chain, we offer capabilities to customers to optimize their supply chain. So Gen AI, utilizing the data assets that we have curated, can help them really understand what suppliers are there for the long run, which suppliers can be the backup suppliers from supply optimization perspective, and how do you really allocate, again, the right resources for supply chain type of activities. And again, looking at the CPOs, 80% of the CPOs cite enhancing risk management as a business priority, and supply risk analysis was up 51% from 35% in 2021. So everyone is being extremely cautious that they have as little risk in their supply chain as possible so that it doesn't have an impact, a downstream impact to their business, but also to their customers' business that they're dealing with. Similarly, 68% of respondents that we surveyed listed developing supply chain resiliency as a top priority. So in order, again, reiterating, to do all of that, you gotta make sure that you have the right data as the foundation for your AI. Let me turn it over to Lynn for risk management.
I was going to say, let's not forget about risk management solutions. These solutions can help you avoid fraud, limit your exposure to leverage, and help you avoid cyber risk, provide you with ESG data, and give you insights into supply chain, as well as third-party risk insights. We also have shipping insights that can help you avoid issues with your supply chain. So as you mentioned, some of our statistics, 69% of CPOs say enhancing your risk management is their top priority in the enterprise. 51% of risk leaders say that they've become more focused on integrating business strategy and risk management compared to where they are today. Next slide. So these are some of the outcomes that we've noticed in the industry when we surveyed our customers. 25% data accuracy improvement, 20% reduced downtime, 40% efficiency gains, and 10% cost savings across the board. So at D&B, we help you with these solutions and help you build more accurate data supply chains by helping you with matching, cleansing, and enriching your data with our data cloud. We help you connect and manage that data and integrate it into your existing systems. We help you by providing a data as a service through our APIs and integrations with ad hoc systems or systems that you've built in-house. And then we provide you with hierarchies and linkages to understand the relationships between your customers. And in the industry, we're seeing a growing emphasis on data accuracy. So people are more focused on putting accurate data into their supply chain so they can understand better how their companies impact their business or how their customers impact their business. They're recognizing the importance of establishing a unified data foundation. So our data helps you to build that by providing you with a third-party authoritative source of data and information. We help drive more informed business decision-making by providing you with that accurate data. And then we enhance your operational efficiency by helping you to eliminate bad data from your environment. We mitigate risk by providing you with risk metrics and providing you with other metrics that we create in-house so that you can understand supply chain risk, for instance, or ESG, or other impacts to your business that you don't have direct insight to. Next. So there's great news. We have announced an enhanced partnership with Databricks. to provide a dunsified marketplace for our information to be integrated into your systems and solutions. So in the future, our roadmaps will contain, next slide, will contain company information, company financials, and other attributes that we have in our data cloud that you can integrate directly with your applications. And this will be provided as part of the integration, part of the partnership that we have with Databricks. So if you want more information about this, come visit us at MP1, which is our booth downstairs at the pavilion. And I'll turn it back over to you.
Let me ask a quick poll question. So just by raising your hand, how many of you know who DNB is and what a DUNS number is? Perfect. Okay. So for the rest of you, if you want more information, as Lynn said, and the power of the DUNS number, you can really think of this like as a unique identifier, like a social security number for a business. So every business in our database, over 450 million plus, has a unique DUNS number that stays with them. So think of it from a master data management perspective, the value that it brings. It sort of eliminates the need for creating another unique identifier and utilize the DUNS number to unlock all those capabilities that Lynn is just referring to that are going to be available on Databricks now, right? So if you have a DUNS number on a company, you can take advantage of any of these things very, very quickly and seamlessly into your applications. So again, see us at the booth if you have questions. Now let me just switch over to future of data and AI. This is a very common thing I get asked when I speak at events or when I talk to customers. What's happening within AI that we're seeing as trends? So some of this stuff you have already seen, right? A lot of hype in the news, and explainable AI is at the top of it, right? What does this really mean? This is the transparency piece of AI. If I'm asking a large language model a question, how do I know it's giving me the right information? Now, I know with ChatGPT and Google and all that stuff, when you're using it for a personal use, it's not a huge impact. But when you're using it in the context of business and making decisions, which could have regulatory implications, it becomes extremely important that you have some level of transparency and explainability. So that's the trend that we're going to continue seeing emerge over the next year or so. Federated learning. You could also think of this as distributed learning or AI. And what this really means is now AI models and AI capabilities going directly to the end system. Previously, what we saw, we had large language models in a server or in a centralized location. With this, we're seeing a trend where the large language models are becoming more context-based. And an example of that is, if I am in sales and marketing, I don't really need to know what's happening in the rest of the world. I just need to focus on that use case and that context and that type of data. So with these, with this, what you will see is that becoming more mainstream, where marketing systems will have their own specific models that are for that use case versus supply or risk side. But ultimately, they will still go up in that node structure to the server, so that if at the company level someone needs to make a holistic decision, you still have the capability to take advantage of that distributed model infrastructure. AI-driven governance. If you are in data management or master data management, this is a topic which has created a lot of angst and pain for the experts. Data governance is not easy, as we all know. We understand, especially now, we have emphasized a lot the importance of right data. But in order to have and get to the right set of data, you need to have data governance in place. So how do we leverage AI to take care of some of the data governance type of activities, which are really, really time consuming and resource consuming? So we will see more of that coming up in the data space and data management. Edge AI is similar to what I mentioned with federated learning. So going from centralized to end system type of AI models is what edge learning is, or AI is going to include. Quantum computing, it should be computing, not computing. My apologies for the error. This is really when quantum computers are really becoming more available. How do we leverage those capabilities to help us even further some of the advancements in medicine, in technology, and some of the other very data-intensive activities to leverage those powerful machines? So that's going to also be at the forefront. AI optics and regulations. We have already seen some regulations come into play, some of the states in the US. We have seen, there's a bill already tabled in Canada called Data and AI Bill, which is going to be coming into effect as well. Europe has already done that. So we're seeing that happening piecemeal in different industries and different states and countries, but we're going to see that become a bit more mainstream to make sure that we have ethical AI, we have regulated AI, and we have the right level of transparency for these capabilities. AI in augmented and virtual reality is another area that we're going to see emerge, and it's already emerging. And this is where, right now, if you look at AI, we have these chatbots that are helping in business decision making, but also satisfying support-related activities from businesses, right? But what happens when they only get to a certain point and then they run out of context and they need to now transition over to a human to support? That is kind of disjointed right now. We're going to see more of that coming into play, where it's going to become very, very seamless, that you're unable to distinguish and identify whether a person or a computer is helping me with something, right? So that transition is going to become seamless. And finally, just one stat from Gartner that I wanted to share, in which they're saying by 2025, Gen AI to account for 10% of all data produced, up from less than 1% today. So Gen AI is not only going to help us solve our data problems, but it's also going to produce data as a result of what it's doing as well, right? So we're going to have to start thinking about what does that really mean for the downstream business impact. Can we utilize Gen AI to help create data sets for us? Some companies are already doing that, right? Synthetic data is something that we're seeing in the industry today because there's lack of data to create models. And synthetic data is perfect for certain use cases, but not every use case. So be very careful when using synthetic data, depending on the use case that you're trying to solve for. And then finally, we'll wrap up the session and we'll leave some time for Q&A if anyone has questions. So key takeaways from today's session. One thing to remember is the critical role that data plays in AI. It's becoming very, very apparent for certain companies, but some companies are still struggling with that. There's board requirements for them to say, the organization ABC, you guys need to do something on Gen AI because everyone else is doing it, or competition is doing it, so we've got to create a product or do something to show the market that we are a Gen AI company. So again, be careful and make sure that the data is considered first as opposed to an afterthought, because otherwise we're going to struggle with the AI system and the strategy. Challenges in data management. So getting to the right data and data assets is important. So don't rely on the traditional lookups on the web and all that stuff. Make sure that you're dealing with the right reputable source of data. You have a good internally mastered data set for your own customers that you can leverage as a part of your AI. We share D&B data in AI applications and how it's helping other customers in different industries. We're available at the event if you have a question or you want to come talk to and learn more about it. We have a partnership now, enhanced partnership with Databricks, so we want to make it easier for you as a customer of Databricks and of D&B to consume that data to fuel your AI. And then finally, we talked about some of the trends and outlook. So with that, I want to thank you for your time and joining us this morning. Have a good conference.